I want to make a confession. I've been covering this administration for months now. I have read the transcripts. I have watched the press conferences. I have studied the True Social Post. I have sat with the contradictions and the chaos and the all caps and meltdowns. And I have finally figured out what I have been watching this entire time. Every single day, I have been watching a Looney Tunes cartoon, and I can prove it scientifically with receipts. Donald Trump is simultaneously Elmer Fudd, Daffy Duck, and the Tasmanian Devil. Pete Hegseth is Yosemite Sam, specifically Seagoin Sam when he is a pirate, and Chilkoot Sam when he is a Klondike. And the Iran War is a classic Looney Tunes arc in which the villain keeps blowing himself up while claiming his winning. Welcome to the show. I'm Davy Jones Carpenter. That's all, folks. Except it's not, because we still have 10 minutes. Let's go. Or possibly lesser than 10 minutes, but we're going to hang in there, only. Let us start with Elmer Fudd. Now, for the uninitiated, Elmer Fudd is the hunter. He is always hunting something, always convinced that he's about to catch it, always sneaking through the woods with a rifle, whispering, "Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits." And he never, not once, catches the rabbit. Donald Trump has been hunting things his entire presidency. He hunted the deep state, never caught it. He hunted the fake news, still running free. He hunted Hillary Clinton's emails, lock her up. She has not been locked up. He hunted the stolen election. Courts disagree 61 times. He hunted NATO allies, demanded they pay more, and then needed them for a war, and they laughed at him. He hunted Iran, said he knocked everything out, said there was nothing left to target. And Iran said, much like Bugs Bunny, "Of course, you know, this means war." And then fired cluster missiles at Tel Aviv. The Elmer Fudd parallel runs even deeper than the hunting. Elmer Fudd always has a plan, always announces the plan confidently. "I will catch that rabbit today." And then the plan immediately explodes in its own face. The gun backfires. The trap catches him. The dynamite goes off early. Trump tariffed the world, and the Supreme Court struck most of them down. Trump said he would end all wars on day 1 and started one on day 50. Trump said Iran had no navy, no air force, no radar, and Iran fired cluster missiles at a major city 2 weeks later. Trump asked allies for help. They said no, and he posted, "We never needed anyone," in all caps. Every single plan, face, every time. The only difference between Trump and Elmer Fudd is that when Elmer's gun backfires, he is the only one who gets the suit in his face. But Trump is not just Elmer Fudd. He is Daffy Duck. And this is a crucial distinction. Elmer Fudd is a bumbler who means well. Daffy Duck is a narcissist. The Daffy is convinced, absolutely convinced, that he is the most talented, most deserving, most spectacular creature in any room he walks into. He demands the spotlight. He cannot function without applause, and the moment someone threatens his spotlight, he loses all composure completely. Daffy Duck's most famous characteristic, besides the lisp and the spit, is that he constantly insists that he's winning, even when he is visibly, demonstrably, catastrophically losing. Trump declared the Iran conflict over on Wednesday. Hegseth said it was just beginning on Thursday. Trump said both could be true. That is not a foreign policy position. That is Daffy Duck face down in dirt after Boggs has smiled at him for a 14th time, saying you're despicable to nobody in particular. Daffy's greatest episode, and I need you to think about this carefully, is the one where he and Boggs argue over whether it is a rabbit season or dog season. Daffy keeps trying to outsmart Boggs, keeps trying to flip the narrative, and every single time he thinks he has won, Elmer shoots him. The bill spins around his head, and Daffy says with absolute certainty, "You're doing it wrong." Trump has told us the war is won. The war is almost won. The war could go forever. The war ends at his bones. Iran is surrendering. Iran is not surrendering, but will soon. We do not need allies. We ask allies for help. We never needed anyone. Can someone please send minesweepers? The bill keeps spinning around his head. In every press conference, he looks directly at us and says, "You're doing it wrong." And then there is the third layer, the Tasmanian Devil. Now, the Tasmanian Devil, Taz, is not strategic. Taz does not have a plan. Taz is pure id, pure appetite, pure destruction. He spins into a room like a tornado, eats everything in sight, leaves total chaos behind, and then looks around genuinely confused about why everything is on fire. Trump spun into NATO and ate it. Spun into the Kennedy Center and ate it. Now it is closing for 2 years. Spun into the Department of Defense, renamed it the Department of War, spun into the DOJ, hired prosecutors with zero legal experience, spun into the Federal Reserve, tried to fight a chairman, spun into the Middle East, started a war, bombed a school, called it an excursion, went golfing, wore a funeral hat. Taz never means harm. He's just always hungry. And Trump is always hungry for attention, for applause, for the deal, for the win, for the headline, for the hat, for the golf cart, for the bones feeling. The difference between Trump and Taz is that Taz at least has the decency to look confused. When things blow up around him, Trump looks directly into the camera and calls it a tremendous success. Now, Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth is Yosemite Sam. I'm not doing a bit. This is not a metaphor. This is a clinical diagnosis. Yosemite Sam is the toughest, roughest, most dangerous desperado in the whole West. He will tell you this himself loudly, with both guns drawn, before he has assessed the situation, before he knows who he's talking to, before he has any idea what is actually happening. Pete Hegseth told us he is hunting and killing the adversary without apology, hesitation, or mercy. Pete Hegseth said, no stupid rules of engagement. Pete Hegseth said, no quarter will be given. Pete Hegseth said, we fight to win. Pete Hegseth walked into a Christian convention with a 101st Airborne marching band and told the pastors that protecting the border is biblical. Pete Hegseth renamed the Department of Defense the Department of War. That is Yosemite Sam. That is a man who walks into every room with both guns already firing and then looks around surprised when things did not go as planned. Sam always announces himself at maximum volume. Sam always draws first. Sam always loses. But I want to get specific, because Yosemite Sam has several alter egos, and 2 of them map onto Pete Hegseth with frightening precision. The first is Seagoin Sam, the pirate. In the classic 1958 episode, Nightly Night Bug, Sam plays a swashbuckling sea captain. He has a ship. He has a cannon. He has a crew. He declares himself the most fearsome pirate over the 7 seas. He fires his cannon confidently and with great fanfare. And consistently, every time, the cannon either backfires, it's his own ship, or blows up in his own face while Bugs stands nearby completely unbothered. Hegseth walked into the Pentagon like Seagoin Sam boarding a vessel. He fired his cannon immediately. No stupid rules of engagement. He fired again. No quarter, no mercy, no hesitation. He fired again. We are hunting and killing without apology. And the cannon hit a school. On day 1, 175 people killed, most of them children. Seagoin Sam's defining characteristic is that he's absolutely convinced of his own naval superiority right up until the moment his ship sinks. And even then, standing on the ocean floor, he's still waving his sword and claiming victory. Hegseth held a press conference last week and told a journalist with headlines to write about his own war. That is a man standing on the ocean floor waving a sword. The second alter ego is Chilkoot Sam, Yosemite Sam on the Klondike, the gold rush prospector. In the Klondike episodes, Sam is convinced he's found gold. He stakes his claim. He plants his flag. He tells everyone we're earshot that this story is his, that God has given it to him, that anyone who challenges his claim will answer to his guns. And Bugs Bunny, mild, unbothered, eating carrot, outsmarts him every single time, using nothing but common sense and a raised eyebrow. Pete Hegseth stood at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville and told the 20 rooms full of evangelical Christians that God has given America this territory, that protecting the border is biblical, that the military is a Christian institution, that trans people have no place in it, that the through line from the Old Testament to Western civilizations runs directly through the Pentagon Department of War. That is Chilkoot Sam, planting his flag in the Klondike snow and declaring holy ground. And just like Chilkoot Sam, the moment the actual adult in the room shows up and points out that the gold rush ended, the claim is contested, the flag you planted is on someone else's land, Sam fires both guns, spins his mustache, and stamps his feet and says, I'm the hootinest, tootinest, shootinest bobcat south of the Arctic Circle. which is basically what Hegseth said when legal experts called his no quarter statement a war crime. He said nothing. He retracted nothing. He just showed up at the next press conference and fired both guns away. Now, let me show you how the entire Iran war maps onto a classic Looney Tunes episode structure, because it is perfect, frame by frame. Act 1, the setup. Elmer Fudd, Trump, announces he's going hunting. He has a plan. The plan is foolproof. He sneaks into the forest, the Middle East, very quietly. Be very quiet. I'm hunting Iran. Act 2, the overconfidence. Sam Hegseth runs it ahead of plan. Guns blazing, no rules of engagement, no mercy, no hesitation. He fires the cannon. It hits a school. He declares victory anyway. We are toast. I mean, they are toast, and they know it. Act 3, the backfire. The rabbit. Iran is not toast. Iran fires cluster missiles at Tel Aviv. The counterterrorism director quits live on X. The allies say no. The Supreme Court kills the Tariffs. The Strait of Hormuz stays closed. Taz spins in circles and everything is on fire. Act 4, the denial. Daffy Duck. Trump looks directly into the camera. Both eyes blackened. Bill spinning says, the war is over. We won. Both could be true. A feeling in my bones. We do not need the help of anyone. Act 5, the freeze frame. In every Looney Tune episode, at the moment of maximum chaos, everything freezes. And the card comes up that says, that's all folks. Except, in this version, it is day 18. The missiles are still flying. The strait is still closed. The soldiers are still dying. And the card that comes up says, when I feel it in my bones. Now, here is the difference between a Looney Tunes cartoon and what is actually happening in the Middle East. In a Looney Tunes cartoon, nobody actually dies. Elmer gets his face blown off and walks away. Sam gets flattened by a steamroller and pops back up. Taz eats everything and spins off into the sunset. The credit rolls, everyone is fine. In this real version, American soldiers are dead. 1,444 people are dead in Iran. 912 people are dead in Lebanon, and 100 of them children. A couple in their 70s died in their apartment at Tel Aviv this morning because the sirens didn't sound in time. The cartoon logic is real. The overconfidence, the backfire plan, the denial, the all caps post, all of it maps, all of it tracks, all of it fits. But the bodies do not disappear when the credits roll. That is the only difference, and it is the only difference that matters. Subscribe. Every day we come here and we find the absurdity, because sometimes that is the only way to stay sane. But we never let the absurdity erase the weight of what is real. I'm Davy Jones, Cap and Tear. That's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow.